This video is sponsored by Card Kingdom. If you want to pre-order Wilds of Eldraine, you can use my link in the description below. About to do the first on this Twitch channel and on this YouTube channel draft of this brand new format. Doing it during the streamer event. That's what it's called now. It used to be called Early Access. It has been for years. But I believe they want us to call it Streamer Event now. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. Okay, well, pretty easy first pick, I think. It'll be Heartflame Duelist. You know, premium removal on one side, nice creature on the other side. Going to give you a 2-for-1 virtually every time you play it. This is not a very good Enchanted Tale for limited. You know, just it doesn't do anything. And the synergy isn't even really there in this set, especially in green, for it to be that powerful. I think Dream Spoilers... Oh, no, never mind. I think this was the Uncommon Adventure Fairy. It is not. So it's an easy Heartflame Duelist. I do really like Stone Splitter Bolt, Red Tooth Vanguard. Those both seem like cards you can first pick. And then a tier below that, I think we have, like, the Edgewall Pack, Ratcatcher Trainee, Hopeful Vigil, Curse of the Werefox. And then everything else is sort of below that level, I think. But yeah, we definitely want Heartflame Duelist here. You know, one great thing about this is we'll just play this card even if we don't end up playing white. As long as we play red. And it's the same the other way, honestly. If we didn't end up playing red, I mean, ideally we're at least splashing red to gain access to the adventure. But, you know, it is nice taking a card like this and knowing, well, it's not going to end up in my sideboard almost no matter what. And I think that's true. This is an interesting Enchanted Tale. I think there seems to be kind of a critical mass of uncommon Enchanted Tales cards that are good for like a red aggro deck. I sort of touched on that in the set review. And I think that might be a thing, but I don't know. This pack is not nearly as good as our first one. Cooped Up is maybe what we go after here, and it's not exactly great. I don't like Eerie Interference. Yeah, the land... It's not a terrible idea to think about taking the land, but I mean, especially because this pack looks so weak overall. I mean, I think Sweet Tooth Witch is okay. The Transmute, there's a lot of okay stuff, but nothing in here I'm excited about, basically. I think I'm just going to take Cooped Up. It is medium removal. Okay. I am interested in trying Ashiok's Reaper. You know, this is a card that I think it's hard to get a feel for. Like, it seems like it's understated and inefficient, and it is, but the question is whether the upside is strong enough. I don't think we take another Cooped Up or Plunge into Winter. I do like Red Tooth Genealogist a reasonable amount. The Reaper definitely has a higher ceiling, though. I'm going to take the Reaper. Yeah, Impact is good in the Rat deck. They also have that one where you, if you attack with something small, 2 power or less, it does 1 damage to the opponent. Then there's Goblin Bombardment. So, like, there's, like, a pile of... That one might be rare, actually, but there are several uncommon ones. I don't think Curiosity is very good, basically, is the short answer. Wow, that is a pretty late Charming Scoundrel. I think that's definitely what we take. Very good 2-drop, does a bunch of stuff. You can, you know, the Wicked Roll token can go on itself when you're playing it on turn 2, but then later in the game you can move it around onto something more meaningful. So it's definitely what we take. It's a good, I mean, it's definitely not a bomb rare, but it's like, you know, super efficient creature. So it would be good to play red-white, again, because access to both of these is where we want to be. It'll be interesting to see if Cooped Up can outperform a lot of recent cards like it in a set that has enchantments in it and in a set that has a bunch of, like, enchantment go to graveyard payoffs. So, Solitary Sanctuary is kind of interesting. This is one of those tap payoffs that I'm not thrilled about, but, you know, if you get a critical mass of tap stuff, maybe it'll work. Prophetic Prism's always worth a look. I don't really like Gnawing Crescendo. Kind of thinking about just taking the Guide. It sort of feels like we're going to be in red-white aggro. I do like Royal Treatment okay. I mean, it's certainly playable. Same for Return Triumphant. I do like Hamlet Glutton a reasonable amount, but it doesn't really feel like that's the direction we're headed in. So I think I'll just take the guide. It's like a decent flyer. Likes it when we celebrate. Charmed Scoundrel can celebrate for us, so we have one way to trigger it, and I think we'll find more. It feels like they've given us enough of them, so... Yeah, it's definitely not exciting, but, you know, I think the way this deck pans out, you know, assuming we end up in red-white aggro is, you know, like I said, it was before I was... Well, here's Totentons. That's hard for me to say no to. But I think the way the deck pans out overall is, like, you just sort of curve out, and then you celebrate, like, once or twice on turn 4 and 5, and theoretically, that can get you there. This can celebrate on its own. The Clothier can. I do like Totentons, but it seems like white's really open, and I kind of feel like we should just stick with it. So, I think I'll just take the Clothier here. Red doesn't seem amazingly open. I could take Witch's Mark to get someone off of it, but I think the Clothier's fine. Okay, Edgewall Inn is quite good. Some of these frames look different than they do in paper, don't they? Doesn't this have like a gold frame? For a second, I didn't even know what card it was. Might just be an early access, streamer event thing that they don't have it quite right. Rhyme for Reindeer is interesting if we have enough sagas. Sagas, well, sure. But rolls. I think we probably grab Edgewall Inn. It fixes, it gets us back adventures. It's a pretty good land. It's a pretty good thing to have. Okay, so Edgewall Pack is one of these cards that triggers things all on its own. By things, I mean Celebration. Tattered Ratter isn't going to be great unless we're in black-red, and it doesn't feel like we are, so I'm going to go with the pack. Feels like red-white's where we're going to be. So basically, I want to try, if I like to try to force synergy as much as I can in these early drafts just to see how far it can take you, sort of. And we want a bunch of cards with Celebration on the lower curve, and then cards like Ratcatcher Trainee and Edgewall Pack at the top. Although Ratcatcher Trainee is also a really great 2-drop. It is what we're going to take here, because it can enable Celebration, but also be a 2-drop, and that's where we want to be. This is a pretty late Red Tooth Vanguard, I think, but I think we'll take the Ratcatcher. All right, we'll take Randball Guest. It's a 2-drop with Celebration. It's not the most exciting celebrant, let's say, but it does have it, so. And we get another one. Sometimes, in the early access event, drafting aggro could end up going really well because everyone else is trying, like, shenanigans, but, No, Impact Tremors is pretty bad and limited, unless you're in the exact right kind of deck, and we're not going to be. The problem with it is it doesn't reward you for things you've already done. It only rewards you for things you will do. And that means it's a horrible top deck. It's even horrible to play in the mid game. So unless you have like a way to make like a bajillion tokens, it's really not going to be worth it, I don't think. I think there's potential just because there are other enchantments in the set that say if you put a lot of little things in play, this could be really good for you, but it's hard for me to believe it. Hard for me to believe it. Well, there's a trick. It's not impossible that we play it. Devouring Sugarmaw is pretty good, but obviously double black. Woodland Acolyte is good. Even if we can't ever cast the Adventure, it's good, but maybe Picnic Ruiner is just better for us. We have another Trainee, Merry Bard's Kindled Heroism. I don't hate Hopeful Vigil. It does trigger Celebration on its own, so it's one of those. And it's a 2-drop, but I feel like Picnic Ruiner or Woodland Acolyte are just going to be better. And yeah, we could play it just for the adventure side. It's true, but it's not worth taking that if that's all we have going on, and it's double black, so. It's not what I want, I don't think. So we definitely want Acolyte or Picnic Ruiner. I think I'm going to go Acolyte in the end. We can already sort of splash green. The awkward thing about this land is it locks itself in on one color, but, Well, Shrouded Shepherd's a really good 2-drop, and if we can splash black for it, I'm all about that. Besotted Knight, Clothier, those might wheel, and they're fine. Yeah, we'll take Shrouded Shepherd. Okay, probably just Stone Splitter Bolt. We could use a nice removal spell. Well, it doesn't matter that much if we get damage spells. Like, you know, they're already going to be good because we want removal, but you don't have to have them to play Heartflame Duelist. You could have 0 and you're still going to play Heartflame Duelist. Yeah, I wouldn't hate Flick a Coin Wheeling. That is true. Like, right now, I don't really plan on splashing green for this. You don't really need to. I'm more interested in splashing black than I am splashing green, because that adventure is some business. Speaking of business, man, I want both of these. These both look really good to me because they come with combat tricks that can let you trade 1 for 1, and then they're a creature, and obviously this one's even better. Double Strike is just better, and Huge Menace creature is better than Vanilla 4/2, obviously. But I'd like both of them in this deck. Yeah, the border colors are all weird, it's true. It's taking my eye a second to, you know, I've seen all these cards a lot at this point, but they don't exactly look how they should. So this is a really interesting card that I do want to play with, but given that I have 0 bargain right now, I don't really think I'm supposed to. Well, I have 1 card with bargain. If you have bargain is when it gets interesting because you turn it into just like a Swords to Plowshares that gives a thing +2/+2 and flying, and then you bargain it, you know, before chapter 3. But yeah, I mean, I don't love it. Neither of these are very good either, and I really don't like Bespoke Battle Guard though, so yeah, I mean, Celebrant's okay, but I think we'll take Princess Takes Flight and see if we can find a way to play it. Spear Guard's not bad, but we probably just take Protective Parents. It's definitely not awesome, but I think it's better than Harried Spear Guard is, too. Yeah, I mean, it has this mode where, yeah, if you can win the game before you give them back their creature, that's cool and all, but you really have to consistently... I mean, we are an aggro deck, so it's more possible, but I would also almost always rather play like a 3-drop creature on turn 3, but, you know. I don't know if I'd say it's a priority, but there is a bunch of incidental enchantment removal in the set. Like, even black has a spell at common that can remove enchantments. Most of it, you don't have to take really narrow enchantment removal. Although I guess red and white, I'm trying to think. I don't know that they actually have that much. So we have enough rolls that I think I'm interested in the Savior. The Slinger's not bad. Tattered Ratter isn't really going to do much in our deck, so we'll take the Savior. We could definitely use some more low-cost creatures, but it's not exactly like we're hurting for them either. So... especially given where we are in the pack. I mean, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 2-drops. Granted, Heartflame Duelist in an ideal world, we're not running out on turn 2, but the rest of them are all pretty good on turn 2. Pretty good. I don't hate Dragon Mantle. I mean, I like it more than Bespoke Battle Guard because it replaces itself. Could make, you know, it's not a direct card that says, hey, look, I just made, whatchamacallit happen, Celebration. But because it costs 1 and draws you a card, it has a chance to. We'll take Merry Bards here. Yeah, we'll see if we run people over. That would be nice. We have a lot of rolls. And a lot of things that will trigger Celebration. We still don't have that much Celebration, frankly. I'd like a little more, but... wow, that is a very late Torch the Tower. I will happily take that. I guess red's really open, huh? If 1 mana deal 2, that can sometimes be better than Lightning Bolt, frequently be better than Lightning Bolt, is still around. Okay, so Flick a Coin came back. The question is whether Harried Spear Guard is better. And I kind of think a 1-drop with haste might be something we're more interested in our particular deck than we are in 3 mana, deal 1, make a treasure. Although, getting a few treasure, you know, getting a few treasure could work. I mean, I might try blue-white. It'll depend on where a draft takes us. It is a deck that I'm curious to see how it works, but Like I said in the set review, overall, I know it draws a card, but you're not really that interested in that card if you're an actual aggro deck, is all I'm saying about that Flick a Coin. Okay. What do we have here? I mean, we probably take Scalding Viper. We may never be able to play the adventure side, but a 2-mana 2/1 that damages our opponent a bunch, incidentally, seems like where we want to be, especially because the rest of the pack isn't great. Oh yeah, I'll definitely play all the decks at some point, but I think they were asking about early access, if I would avoid it or not. I mean, you know, getting some random treasure. Do we have some random treasure already? Random treasure would be good because it will enable us to play the side of a couple different cards we have, but... There's Rowan. Not amazing, honestly, and limited. Do I just want another Shrouded Shepherd more than I want Hopeful Vigil or Torch the Tower? It's close. Torch the Tower is that good that... And I don't know for sure that I'm going to be playing black. But this also wheeled in the last pack. So I think taking another good 2-drop is not a bad plan here. Yeah, Vigil does trigger Celebration, it's true. I believe I said that earlier. Right now, the way things have panned out, we're not actually that good at celebrating, unfortunately. Cards we have that say Celebration, anyway, are limited. So here's an Edgewall pack. Also an Embereth Veteran, though. I probably just grabbed that. Here's a Raid Bombardment. That's one of the ones I was talking about that seems like it was put here for, I guess, black-red and red-white to a lesser extent. But we'll just take a good 1-drop here. This can trigger Celebration on its own, too, if you know, play it on turn 2 and sack it. Well, not turn 2, but when you have 2 mana, I should say. This doesn't seem like it's going to be very good in our deck. Yeah. Even with our adventures, like, I don't love it. I think I just take Besotted Knight instead. So right now, I mean, this is just a 2-mana 2/2 that gives +2/+2 to something. That's a pretty good 2-drop, honestly, so I'm not upset about that. But like I've been saying, having some random mana that would let us play these would be nice. I mean, I guess since I have 2 of these and I draw Edgewall in and I already have all my other mana, I'll just be like, I guess I'm going to name black. So I guess we have that going on. Well, here's an Evolving Wilds. It's interesting. I don't know how much we want another Clothier. So I think we'll take the Wilds. Now we can splash black pretty easily. Ratcatcher Trainee. Ooh, this is a good trick. Do I want it more than I want another good 2-drop that can also trigger Celebration when I need it to? That is the question. Probably not. Ratcatcher Trainee seems pretty good. Okay, here's a random treasure. I think we'll take it. I don't think Keep Guard or Griffin Area are really where we want to be. I mean, we're probably going to scry some and stuff, but... Grotto is so bad at fixing mana that even though it is more customizable, I'm really not interested in it in virtually any limited format it's ever printed in. Using 2 lands to produce 1 mana isn't really where you want to be. All right, well... I guess we take Ash. I want Redcap Thief a little bit. Triggers Celebration on its own. Makes Treasure. Those are both things I'm interested in, but Ash is really good. And we're in exactly her colors. So we'll just take Ash. We got reasonable fixing. We'll definitely splash black for this. For Cleaving the Shadows. Here's a Flick a Coin if we really want one. I don't really think we do, but... See, look at that. What is going on with Torch the Tower? We wheeled 2 of them. I'm glad I didn't take it, and it panned out. We'll take another Edgewall pack, I guess. I mean, there's going to be some high curve things we need to trim out of this deck, that's for sure. This deck, like, if there's a deck for non-crescendo, ours doesn't seem terrible, but man, Yeah, we ended up with a pretty good deck. I guess our first pick was a rare, right? That's our only rare. But you don't need rares. So yeah, we're going to run 1 Swamp. Probably don't end up running Dragon Mantle in the end. I don't even know if I end up running the Cooped Up. Like, that pack was so weak where we, like, second picked the Coop Up. There was a Grotto variant that ended up in an overperforming thing, but it wasn't straight up Crystal Grotto. It can't have been, right? So, yeah, the Saga's not great for us. I mean, our deck is fast enough that maybe we can rely on just winning before their thing comes back, but it's a little too finicky for what we've ended up doing. But yeah, we have some random treasure that will allow us to sometimes, you know, cast Scalding Viper's blue side, or what's the other adventure we have? I know we have the Shrouded Serpents, but Shepherds rather. See, I guess we'll cut. I'd rather cut. Yeah, I think we'll cut a mountain. Grab a swamp. Oh yeah, Woodland Acolyte has a random adventure. Okay. So, yeah, we do have more rares than I was thinking. We just don't have any that are, like, overpowering. The closest we get to that is this, which is just insane value, so, you know. Protective Parents doesn't seem amazing. I do think we leave in the packs and the clothier. I mean, having these 4s and 5s that will celebrate seems reasonable. We don't have a ton of celebration in the end, but we have enough that cards that trigger it have some extra value for us. I think I want to try out the Spear Guard, like see if that 1-drop, you know, that aggressive of a 1-drop is something we want to be doing. So probably cut Protective Parents. I guess we could consider going to 16 lands potentially. And yeah, double spelling for Celebration with this many 2s is also a thing. Adventures also really help you double spell because you get 1 card that does both. Well, assuming they both put a permanent into play, I guess. And they don't mostly, so that doesn't actually work. Well, maybe Merry Bards in the end. I mean, it's not very efficient. It does put the Young Roll on something. I keep coming back to Cooped Up. Like, we ended up with Torch the Tower and stuff, so honestly, even though it's like our second pick in a very weak pack, I'd probably just cut it. I think the Savior is good enough because we have so many rolls that I think I'm interested in it. Okay, so maybe I lose like the Clothier. I mean, we have enough other ways to trigger Celebration, and it is not awesome. So I mean, I probably could cut some more replaceable creature and leave the removal in. Like, it's probably better than Merry Bards, but I still have to cut one more thing. Maybe the Savior just isn't good enough. I mean, we have a lot of rolls, but we're not, like, amazing at them. So, yeah, maybe this is what we do. Still have a ton of creatures. Pretty good mana. I could consider going to 16 lands. I mean, that's a thing. But the thing I don't like about that is with us trying to splash a little bit of black, like, in our actual mana base instead of relying on it for treasures, which I think is worth doing. So, yeah, the adventures make things more complicated. But I think that's where we go. Bad. Okay, well, we have a 1-drop. I wish we were going first, but turn 1 Veteran, turn 2 Shrouded Shepherd is pretty nice. First couple turns, and then, you know, got some shenanigans. I guess if they don't play something that can block this, I may just play Grand Ball Guest instead. I think they do play something that can block it. Yeah. I think that means we want to play the Shepherd. Trading is fine. I mean, I don't disagree with that, but it doesn't really... Didn't really move the needle either. Now I think I probably do offer up 2 trades here. I mean, we don't love it, I guess, but if I play Grand Ball Guest and then Edgewall Pack, that's a pretty good next turn, next couple turns. I wish I had a trick. This is where, like, tricks would be really nasty. Kind of hope they just take it, obviously. That's the ideal situation for us is... Okay. I mean... I would really be okay if they wanted to double block that. The Veteran can be sacked at instant speed. Yeah, and I guess I might as well do that. Although, it's probably better to just trade, honestly, than it is to do that. I won't get the counter now anyway, so it's probably better to just wipe their creature off the board than it is to do that. So this turn I can play Cooped Up and Viper or Edgewall Pack and get this going too. If only there were damage on the stack, Embereth Veteran would be a lot better, you know? Okay, well that's a little sad, but I'll persevere. Okay, it's probably still best to play Edgewall Pack as opposed to, like, these other things. Even though if I draw a card with Celebration, I'll be a little disappointed, but that's okay. Ooh, double Edgewall Pack. I could just slap Cooped Up on this thing and then play Scalding Viper. I mean, that seems like a pretty good turn, honestly. So let's play the Viper. Now that they're at low life... Well, if I had a lot of blue mana in my deck, I might have been a little greedier about trying to hold on to the Viper, but I only have, like, 2 cards that make treasure. It's mostly just a 2-mana 2/1 that pings our opponent some in our deck, so... Ooh, yeah, see, this is the card that stabilizes you against our deck. That's for sure. Okay, they still only have 1 blocker. I think I just send everything in and then play another Edgewall Pack. Yeah, so they kill that. That's fine. Play another Menace creature. These rat tokens are pretty cute. Pretty cute. Well, we didn't do anything fancy in that game, but, you know. Torch can only hit... No, Torch can't go face. I wish. Or am I crazy? Does it go face? That can't be right. No, okay, good. We never even triggered Celebration in that game. I mean, we would have if... yeah. If we had creatures with Celebration in play, so... I don't care too much about updating the basic lands on this client that I won't be using, you know, for other things. Aren't players planeswalkers? That's like such a boomer Magic thing to say. Somebody left a comment the other day on one of my videos, speaking of boomer Magic things to say, and they said they ruined the game when they got rid of interrupts. And I was like, what? Yeah, I mean, I think this deck is legit. I think it's the Fun Police deck of the format where you just, you know, run people over. And our deck isn't even probably optimal because we didn't end up with as many cards with Celebration as I wanted. We ended up with lots of ways to enable it, not as many ways to get our cards to do it. But B, like, we probably want like 2 combat tricks in this deck. That's probably the other thing. And we have 0, so... Well... We have 1 on an adventure, so we did get that. And that's one of the nice things about this set, that maybe it'll make combat tricks, even the ones that look better than usual, a little worse, because in red you have 2 combat tricks, 1 on a common creature and 1 on an uncommon creature, and if it's attached to a creature, that's just so much better. Okay, so I guess we're going to grab a Plains with our Evolving Wilds in this situation, but it is a keepable hand. Turn 2 Ash would be sweet. We've got Grand Ball Guest instead, which is, you know, a notch below, but hey, we'll take it. We will take it. I think I played Alias V last time. I don't actually remember who won or lost. Wait a second, there's a Goose Hydra pet? Oh my god. Am I going to finally have a pet on Arena? Probably not. As much as I like geese... They are kind of obnoxious. This card's interesting. You know, it draws you a card up front, which is really good. You know what's not really good is I don't have a play this turn, which is pretty sad. Pretty sad. Since we're an aggro deck. But, you know, we'll probably kill something at the end of their turn at least. That seems likely. We'll Heart Flame Duelist something. We drew like all of our removal and not as many creatures this time. They're going to try to go big on us, obviously. That's what happens. So yeah, they are a ramp deck, and I'm not actually going to get to use my mana at all this turn, which does not put me in a good spot. I guess they're going to make a 1/1. It's definitely not worth just firing one of these off just to kill a 1/1, so we're not going to. I don't like our chances here, though. We really needed to actually curve out, and missing a 3 was a big deal. I could have considered playing a 3/1, I guess, but that... I don't think that's what we wanted to do. I'm sure the background does some stuff. It usually does, yes. This is a cool background, and, you know, it has some of the fairy tale things... you know, because each of the 2-color archetypes this time is based, you know, it's a fractured fairy tale type thing, like the Little Red Riding Hood one and the Frost Queen one. I don't know off the top, but this is probably whatever black-green is, something with food. So yeah, they ramped really effectively already, and they're going to start drawing cards off of Up the Beanstalk. So this might not go super well for us. So this is actually red-green if it's Agatha's house, huh? But this one's red-green, so... Okay, rhyme for reindeer. So... I think we probably coop up the reindeer. Then play Embereth Veteran. Or it's probably better just play Scalding Viper, actually. Start pinging our opponent and whatnot. We're still getting in some nice damage. Luckily, they didn't have a scary 5-drop to slam here, like the Hamlet Glutton that we didn't see until our opponent was pretty low on life last time. So. Ooh, if they can destroy this at instant speed, that's not going to be good. And they can. Okay. Goodbye, Grand Ball Guest. Oh, yeah, you could just double block the pack. Yeah, that's not great for us overall. We do have him at 11. This does hit any target. This doesn't. We can... Let's see. Okay, that drops him to 10. I like that part. That drops him to 9. I like that part. What do we do now? So I could play Embereth Veteran, put a Young Roll on my Edgewall pack. I still have all the mana up to use Torch the Tower and Heartflame Duelist. I think that's what we do. Oh, I won't have all the mana though, because I only have 1 red. I think it's probably still what we do, but it is less exciting. We kind of have to get them to block bad. But maybe we can. Yep, I can sack it for bargain. So if they block with like Reindeer plus one of these, I can kill one of them. Which will be a big blowout. But if they block with all 3, it is less of a blowout. Which of you do I hate more? I think I don't want bird tokens ruining my life. Although this getting really big is kind of a problem. At least I can kill that with... Yeah. So... Do I want to use Torch the Tower instead? Probably. Also lets me scry, that's good. So we do want to bargain. We will hit Savior of the Sleeping. Sack this. Yeah, I think we'll leave that on top. Wasn't an amazing turn. I could consider playing this, but I can't imagine that's what I want to do. Yeah, that's the cool thing about the Young Roll, is once it's useless, it's very expendable. All right, so they go to 8. I like it. They can start making bird tokens, potentially, and I don't like that. That part I don't like. So... I could just Heartflame Duelist. That's probably what I'm supposed to do here, right? Kill this. Attack for 2. All right, they go to 7 at least. Play Duelist. Yeah, I mean, if you're an aggro deck, it just being a 2-mana 3/1 that does random damage is plenty good. Well, we're in good shape. They ended up not hitting any of their ramp payoffs, clearly. I mean, if they had, we would have been in trouble. But now we can just play Edgewall Pack and win, so... Nice. Yeah, it did like 5 damage. Yeah, it'll just do a bunch of incidental damage. I mean, if you're not the most aggressive deck in the world, well, the nice thing is if you're like blue-red, the fact that you can just cast the adventure side consistently really makes up for it. But yeah, they hit all their mana and none of their, like Hamlet Glutton, like if they'd slammed that on turn 5 like they could have, we'd probably lose that game. But they didn't, so. They did not. You can't control the cards you draw, but you can control how you react. That is true. All right, pretty good hand. Probably play Trainee into Shepherd just because it's so good. Well, we'll see. We'll see. I imagine we want to play Trainee, though. I mean, it's such a good 2-drop. I mean, sure, waiting until I can cast the Adventure is tempting, but man. Playing it on turn 2 usually means it gets in for like 4. And when we have Shrouded Shepherd around, it's probably more than that. So I'd probably play Acolyte here. Well, I was going to say, unless they play something I can't attack through with my 2/1 First Striker, and they did. But that's okay. We'll crack in for 4 here. Yeah. Red, white, celebration. Man, they got Lord Skitter. That's bad news. I mean, it's just a big creature that can pump out creatures, and that's pretty good right now. I mean, we can't really attack now. Edgewall Pack will help with that a little, but not much. Skitter cranks out a rat every turn. Also hates on our graveyard. That matters a lot less. But we do have, like, the adventure land, so it matters some. That's for sure. So I think we'll play Woodland Acolyte in main phase 1 here. See if they counter it or something. Yeah, we haven't really bricked on a land like that yet. I think we attack with Edgewall Pack, because if they let us kill Lord Skitter, like... I mean, that's how they have to block. Otherwise, they'd have to take 3 here. Yeah, the other Shrouded Shepherd would be good. If we have black mana, anyway. We've drawn pretty well until now. And, like, we still played something this turn. It isn't like we completely whiffed. Yeah, getting in for 3 works. This might be a game, you know, this is a game where I may regret not having the +2/+0 to my whole board card, because finding a way to push through damage might be hard here. Uh-oh. Oh, I really needed to draw removal. And I didn't do it. Because this thing will start basically conniving every time they attack, except it's better than connive. It doesn't matter what they discard. It gets +1/+1 counter. So we can do this, which will give us a bunch of bodies, which is nice. So we can do both halves of this. I mean, they're at 10, and we have a pretty wide board, so we're not out of this yet. But they do have 2 cards that I gave bomb grades to in play. That part I'm not a huge fan of. We'd have several ways we could kill them, but we didn't draw them, so... Pretty spicy. I get a roll token. Okay, do they have an adventure in their graveyard yet? No. That's good. Well, passing our turn does not bode well for us. Oh, what did they do with the roll token? I think maybe they thought it was the cursed roll, not the wicked roll, because that is confusing. It would make sense that wicked is bad, so they decided not to put it on one of their creatures. That's what it seems like happened. But the cursed roll is the bad one. The wicked roll one is always good. +1/+1 and drain one. Not drain, but your opponent loses one when the creature dies. Uh-oh. Big boy. Okay. We do keep drawing permanents. I mean, can't really complain about it. That I can start complaining about, though, I think. Wah wah. I'm thinking we're gonna lose this one. Make a food, make a wicked roll. Okay, royal roll. Royal roll. I think we want to stick it here. So they have 3 blockers. They have 3 blockers. That's going to give us a 3/3 trample. We swing with everything. They block the 3/3 trample, the 3/2, 6, 8, 3, 5, 7. It's not quite enough to do lethal. Right, 3 blockers, block this, block something with 2 power, and take 7. They're going to gain back life from a food token too, so swinging is definitely not worth it here. Alion's Messenger is so good. Well, it was bound to happen. So far, we've done quite well on our draws, but it wasn't going to keep happening. Let's see if they do this again. What you want to do is put it on your Talion's Messenger and keep messing me up. Okay, this time they did it. I think they must have misclicked or something. Well, that is a flyer. I don't think we really have anything in our deck. Like I said, this is a game where we wish we had that Trumpet Blast effect a little bit. Because that would have allowed us to swing really hard. And maybe, you know, maybe red-white. There are formats sometimes where Trumpet Blast ends up being good. And this might be one of them. But it's also a card that, like, if we'd drawn it in our other games, it would have been pretty bad. It's good here. You know, it's good. Okay. Can we survive? That's the question. And I'm not sure the answer is yes. They have so many tokens at this point that we've only got 7 blockers, so I don't think so, because... Okay. Impact Tremors, like if we played it on turn 2, would have been good, yeah. It would be horrible if we drew it right now. Okay, so we're not dead. I think maybe having 1 card in our hand made them think, well, maybe they can blow something up and that would be bad. Oh, good. Reach. That does keep us alive another turn. Not sure it matters, really, but, you know. I wish it was a fling effect, but no. He's just a big reacher who can throw things away for cards, which, you know, that's something. Dang, they had spell stutter. Okay, so we're dead now. Maybe if I hold on to this land, they'll be conservative again, but I don't imagine they will be. Yeah, I could have, if they let this resolve, I could have eaten the treasure, played this land, eaten the treasure, and drawn a card. Which, I mean, I kind of doubt that was gonna bail us out, but, you know. All right, so now I think we are dead. I think we were last turn, honestly. Yeah, we're dead. Yeah, I mean, Lord Skitter plus Talion, and you never, ever remove them. Gonna be pretty hard to beat. Gonna be pretty hard to beat. It's frustrating that we have, like, 5 cards in our deck that could have dealt with them, but... Yes, there is a fog effect in the set, but it's awful, as fog effects always are in Limited. Yes, it would have been good there, just like the Trumpet Blast effect, but that's the problem, is it's only good there. Okay, ooh. Yeah, okay. Turn 2 Ash. I like it. I think we actually grab a Swamp with Evolving Wilds. I think we have the luxury of doing that with this hand. Yeah, they may have thought I had it. It's true. It's true. I think we play Ash this next turn, and then Charming Scoundrel next turn to get a counter on Ash. Oh, except... if I Evolving Wilds for a Swamp, I can't do that. Yeah, we're not going to get a Swamp. It's not crucial for our deck, so yeah, we want to get... we'll get a Plains. So next turn, playing another 2/2 with haste into... yeah, they may kill Ash, which would be a little sad, but we can just play another 2/2 with haste. So, you know. There is the 1 red deal 2 that would take down Ash, obviously. Well, they're going with Impact Tremors, and they got it on turn 2. Hey, we just drew our Swamp naturally. That feels pretty good. Yeah, we definitely go with Charming Scoundrel here. So, ooh, we can also... Okay, yeah. So let's put the Wicked roll on Charming Scoundrel. Then I'm going to do this and put it here. Let's get some ward going. Attack for a bunch. Oh, now we feel like an aggro deck. Now I feel like I'm in an aggro deck. I don't have a lot of impressions right now. I mean, we've played 2 games, so you didn't really miss that much. So far, it seems like red-white aggro is legit based on the small sample size we have, but that's about all I can say. I don't need to celebrate as bad this turn because Ash is already a 4/4, so I think it was worth doing, and it's not that hard for us to celebrate this turn. Well, I guess it kind of is. All right, so they Firebolt. They go to 11. We're just going to play the Knight here. We lost the last game. Our first pick, yeah, was Heartflame Duelist. I wonder if it was right to play a swamp in this deck, or if we should have just relied on Treasure and played all those off-color adventures. Ooh, that's pretty... that's pretty good right here. Gotta give it to them. Okay, so we're gonna lose both our creatures. I think we probably hold on to Heartflame Duelist, given what it can do for us. Ugh. We pass. 2 good cards in our hand, but they're not doing much right now. Okay, well now they're gonna do something. So we take 2. We're gonna Heartflame Duelist this thing. Do I want to play Heartflame Duelist and try to just hold up the Double Strike, or do I just play a 5/4 Double Striker given the board state? 5/4 Menace, rather. I think we just play a 5/4 Menace. I mean, they have 1 creature that can't block. They need to play 2 things that can block or a removal spell. So I think this is what we want to do. This will help us drop them to 2, theoretically. Again, barring a removal spell, pretty much, we're going to drop them to 2. That is a good card. So they're going to get 2 2/2s. Ping us twice. Attack. Well, no, they're not going to attack. Why would they? Okay. So we attack them down to 2. Play our Heartflame Duelist. We might actually gain some life here. Hopefully they play something small enough that I can just torch it and swing for lethal. That's the dream. This card's so good. Might be the best uncommon in this set. I don't know. It may just turn out like things like this are better. But yeah, I mean, there's no reason I don't take 4 here. I mean, even if they have a trick, I can torch in response, so... Okay, that is bad. So now they have... Well, no, they're still going to take lethal, because they have to have 3 blockers, and they don't have them. That should do it. Yeah, if you can play back Tremors on turn 2, you can really see it perform well. But the big problem it has, as I've said several times, is how bad it is if you draw it, if you play it on turn 5, and if you play it on... I mean, even on turn 4, it's pretty bad, you know? It has to be turn 2 or bust, kind of, and that's a little too all-in for me to really value a card like it. I think there might be a critical mass you can reach where it's worth it, but I don't know what it is exactly. For example, in that game, if they had just played a 2-mana 2/2 instead of Impact Tremors, the game would probably still be going on. I'd have more life, but they wouldn't have lost yet. Like, and that's kind of the problem, too, with that kind of card. Even on turn 2, it doesn't actually impact the board. Okay, we got Ash Party Crasher again. We could follow it up by making rats and whatnot, so yeah. We're not going first, but... Yeah, there's a Crystal Grotto. You know, was it... There was a Crystal Grotto variant in Dominaria United is what it was, and it was actually good, but that was a weird format. Somebody mentioned earlier that one was on my overperform list once, and that's the one that it was. So we can trigger, potentially, 2 turns in a row here. We can trigger Ash. That might just be what we want to do. Well, now it's not. Because now she's gone. There's our Edgewall in. We can name black and then play a 2-drop here. Yeah, I don't hate that. I wonder if... Nah. I think just playing this as a 2/1 first strike is probably a little better, especially when we have Shrouded Shepherd as backup here. Counted the land type for yeah. I knew there was something different about it. Oh yeah, it became a land type. You're right, that's what it was. Okay. Well, I think we probably just go with Edgewall Pack here after attacking with Red Ratcatcher Trainee. I am a fan of the rat tokens. They could have gone with, like, scary-looking rats, but they didn't. So, it'd be cool if they played, like, an X1 here. Okay, I'm fine with that. I could grab our swamp and we could do both. But I think obviously what we want to do here is the -1/-1. And then we play the Shepherd. They have Season of Growth, which lets them scry when a creature enters, and if they target one of their creatures with a spell, they draw a card. Yeah, that's a big boy. One that we can kill, though, is Stone Splitter Bolt. And then... can't quite swing for lethal if we bargain Stone Splitter Bolt. But if we just give this +2/+2, yeah, that'll do it. Doesn't really matter. Okay. Well, now it really doesn't matter. So we'll create a Royal Roll, stick it on the Menace creature. Then we'll play Shrouded Serpent. Stick it on the Menace creature. And swing out. Nice. So it was just straight up Crystal Grotto. Yeah, I mean, that format was weird. It was actually good in that format, though. That's the exception to the rule, though, really. Like, we've seen Crystal Grotto be bad in so many formats, but in that format where playing 5 colors was, like, the natural state of things, it was actually good. It was actually good. It was still, like, at the bottom of the list of lands. I mean, I guess good's an exaggeration. Because if you just ended up with a bunch of duels, which was, like, the ideal situation, you still didn't play it, but, you know. It was playable, you know. And it is here, too. I gave it a D- in my set review, which means if you really desperately need fixing to play something that's worth it, you can play it. But you're also never going to feel good about it. You'd rather have Edgewall In or Evolving Wilds or Treasure, you know, like there's like way better options around. So thank you for the sub, Eon Calcos. Yeah, I could help you do off-color kicker. That format was cool. It's one of those formats, you know, it was unique because of that 5-color thing, but then it happened too often, you know, it happened a little too often. Thank you for the sub, Stunt Burn. All right, good hand. Turn 2, Scoundrel. We want a Wicked Roll token, please. They may kill her, but she'll have gotten in for 3. That does not kill her. But I'm glad I already played her because it makes haste way worse because our thing's in her tapped now. It also has Extort, and Draining Life is pretty darn good against us too, unfortunately. What do I want to do here? I mean, obviously this. It's probably going to be better to put the Royal Roll on our Shrouded Shepherd, I think. That's what we'll do. That way we're not all in on one thing. We do not have a disenchant effect, no. There is one destroy target enchantment card in white. It is a little weird they didn't give white an adventure creature that can destroy enchantments. Green got one. Seems kind of unfair. Well, I think we just saw Ward really come up right there. I liked it. Okay, so we're just going to play Besotted Knight here after attacking for 3. We have a good thing to bargain now because this token is now meaningless, so... It is entirely meaningless. Oop. She's a little too big. But if we can get her to block, I don't think we're going to be too sad. I don't know if she's going to block, though. Trying to decide if I want to do Embereth Veteran, but it's not that good. It'll just put a counter on one of these. Having a 2-1 in play is probably just better right now. So we're going to attack with both, and we will use Torch the Tower. And I'm actually going to bargain it, even though it won't be necessary, just so I can scry. And because this is no longer useful. It'll actually make them lose a life, too. So there's that. So we are going to get rid of her. Cast with bargain. It also exiles her. I guess it always exiles her. So they go to 10. We get rid of Ariette. We have another removal spell on top that I think we just leave there. And then we play Embereth Veteran. Yeah, I mean, right now they're not draining any life, so that's why they felt like they had to block. They have to have auras or she doesn't do that, so... But we can kill almost anything they play here and smash in for 8, theoretically. Yep. Luckily, they don't have the mana to extort here. So yeah, let's do 4. Oh, we do not want to bargain, though. Hold on to this mountain. Well, that's pretty good. You know, if I hadn't held on to my mountain, I could have at least gotten a roll out of this, but I think they're still dead, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah. Yeah, they didn't do great on their mana, Magic Mics. I wonder which Magic Mic that is. It's probably not... It's probably... Yeah, I don't know. It's definitely not MTG Nerd Girl, because she would have her own deal. Could be either of the others, I guess. Yeah, that went pretty well. It's all gone pretty well, really. The only time we lost was when somebody stuck 2 3-drop bombs on back-to-back turns, and then I never drew any of my removal that could have dealt with them. And those are games you're always going to lose, so... Yep, Talion Messenger and Lord Skitter are the ones we both faced down. They're only bombs I gave A-. Well, did I give Talion a straight-up A? I think I did, come to think of it. And I think that was right, especially given how it just treated us. Skitter does seem more like an A-. Like, in that game, the main thing he did... I mean, if it weren't for Skitter, they couldn't have won as quickly, I guess. But thank you for the sub, Rigo Star, because, you know, they just amassed all these rats, and then... that allowed them to hit lethal more quickly once I stopped being able to attack them, so... This is not our greatest hand. Like, oh, never mind. I keep forgetting this is also a 2-drop. It's okay. Maybe we'll draw a better... draw a 1-drop or a different 2-drop. But, we'll see. We may torch something here. Yes, we will. This is draft. 'Tis not sealed. Oh, don't you love it when you draw your 1-drop on turn 2? I know I do. Love it. Ooh, that's a good draw. I don't imagine we plan on using it here, though. I think I just play Harried Spearguard and attack with both of these. Yep. Edgewall Pack next turn, probably. Man, Utopia Sprawl's good. I outlined at some point in this format, I want to go turn 1 Utopia Sprawl, turn 2 Troyon, turn 3 6-drop. It'll probably happen to me before it happens for me, I guess. But that's the dream. That's like an opening turn that you just can't beat, basically. Well, this is all very interesting. Do I just let that thing be? Maybe. I mean, it's going to gain a counter next turn. I mean, what I could do is kill it and attack for 3, and I don't hate that. But I could also just attack with Trainee. I could just attack with Trainee and play Edgewall Pack. That's probably just going to be better. Because if they attack with this, frankly, we're happy with it, right? With what we want to do in this game, we want them to attack us. So I think we attack with the Trainee here. And then we'll play Edgewall Pack. We could play Ash if we wanted to be really greedy, but I think building out our board more is probably better. I now have a rat token, so I can do 6 with Stone Splitter Bolt if I have to. Yeah, that's not good. Goodbye, Edgewall Pack. Well, I think we have to kill Agatha's champion. Hopefully they don't have a trick in response, because that would really blow us out. I could just attack with Ratcatcher Trainee. No, that doesn't really do anything for us either. So yeah, we're just gonna... We're gonna do X equals 2 and sack... Oh. Yeah, Royal Treatment would be really bad. Bargain... We will target Agatha's champion. Luckily, they don't have it. Drawing a mountain would be cool, because I could play... Oh, God. Well, earlier we had an opponent play that, and it was like, you know, we weren't that worried about it because of when they played it. But this opponent played it early enough that we're worried about it. So, oh, gosh. Yeah, so we're just going to have to play this out, I think, as a big creature. Bargain doubles X with the bolt, is what it does. So yeah, they can just, I mean, they have lethal on board here, which is scary. I mean, I'm just going to chump Merry Bards with my Spear Guard if they attack, but, you know, doesn't look good. Does not look good. Yeah, the gaining 3 life is like one of the most backbreaking parts about Hamlet Glutton against our deck. I mean, especially because we didn't really even do that good of a job of lowering their life in this particular game. Something bad's gonna happen. As if bad things haven't already happened. Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. Well, we're still gonna chump block. Go to 4. You get a rat. Yeah, that does not solve problems for us. We did. Yep, they just went over us. I mean, that Agatha's champion turn was really the backbreaking, you know, and they did it on 4 because of Utopia Sprawl, so. That, you know, it's turn 4 this, turn 5 Hamlet Glutton was not where we wanted to be. No bombs involved that time, but our opponent's deck was very well equipped for not being worried about our deck, basically. Okay. Pretty good. We'll be grabbing a Plains, obviously. Could be better. But, you know, like, we may just play Shrouded Shepherd as a 2-mana 2/2 here, which is kind of sad. Okay, well, I'm glad I drew something else I can play. Looks like our opponent's in on aggro 2 here, though. The black-red variety. Hey, look at that! Nice. Well, they have 2 X1s in play. That makes getting a treasure with Crabby Giant here and then casting this pretty good, I think. I mean, we don't add to the board, but, like, I think that works out reasonably well. Ooh, man, if only I'd waited another turn, though. Man, really? They have all X1s. What was I thinking? I think we're going to take 3. We have some more attractive trades we can choose to make, I think. Yeah, let's attack for 4. Let's play 2 in Veil Guide. The lifelink will really help us win this race, and we can trigger it next turn, so. Now we can trigger it 2 turns in a row. Nice. Yeah, we're in pretty dang good shape here still. I think we probably just play another Edgewall pack. I mean, I could play this as a creature and this as a creature instead, but that seems dumb. Yeah, I mean, we just play another Edgewall pack and swing with everything. They have some decent blocks, but we still have 2 menace creatures, something that I can give lifelink to again next turn, and the Serpent. Do I keep saying Shrouded Serpent? Shrouded Serpent is one of my favorite Magic cards from when I was like 9 years old. It's a horrible card, but I thought it was the coolest card ever. So that's, if I've been saying that, that's why. So so far, like, yeah, that 4 mana 3/3 menace, make a 1/1. It's basically come with an ETB attached to it, like every time we've played it, an additional ETB, and that's been good. I gave it a C+ this set review. That seems about right. It means it's a key common for red decks, basically, and that's definitely what it is. It's not insane or anything, but I guess, you know, if more games play out the way this one is playing out, it's not. Chimney Rabble's definitely better. Well, maybe not definitely. The thing about Chimney Rabble that was nice is it played well whether you were aggressive or not, and I don't think that's really true of this one because, well, I don't know. I think Chimney Rabble probably just is better than the dog is. Haste is good, and that 1/1 that can actually block is good. It's hard to say. So, are we going to win 7 or 6 in our first draft? Yeah, the dog does have extra synergy, it's true. Worth remembering that Chimney Rabble also had, like, one of the highest win percentages of any common in that set. So, you know. Man, why don't I get to go first? We're definitely keeping it, but it would be so much better if we were going first. Be cool if they don't play anything here. Or did they play an X1 here? I'd take either of those options. Hello, hefty lefties. So we can play a turn 3-2 Unveil Guide if I make a treasure next turn, but it's probably just going to be better to play a 2 mana 2/2. I mean, it almost always is. Yeah, the fact it was good, I mean, even if you were a 5-color deck, Chimney Rabble was pretty good because the 2 bodies were so crucial to get you over the hump. Whereas in this format, that's not going to be true of that kind of red deck. Right, they don't play anything. Trainee or Grand Ball Guest? Probably Grand Ball Guest because I can start triggering... Yeah, probably Grand Ball Guest. So this card's good if the game can go long. Hopefully it doesn't. Thank you for the resub, Hefty Lefties. So I probably make 2 1/1s this turn and attack for 4. I imagine that's what I'm supposed to do. Do they play something here with their treasure and their land? They do. Well, that does make life a little more difficult, but not really, I guess. Yeah, no, we're just gonna... They can block Grand Ball Guest if they want to, but it tramples, so I'm not too broken up about it. This is an interesting card to try out. Our opponent looks like they're in some sort of multicolor shenanigan deck, that's for sure. I have a hard time imagining this in Constructed, I have to say. But maybe. I mean, maybe like as a 1 or 2 of in like a control deck, sort of like, I don't know. Yeah, they're running 2 Crystal Grottos, at least 2. So they're doing something crazy mana-wise. Yeah, and Commander, I can see the Vault being good, that's for sure. When I say Constructed, I generally mean 60-card Constructed. I say Commander when I mean Commander. Probably play 2 Unveiled Guide next. Start getting that lifelink going, maybe. Hello, D Hobbit. So yeah, let's play the guide here. Does it get countered? I mean, they have blue mana, so they can counter it if they have counter magic. That doesn't break me up too much since I get a rat token. I mean, they do have a ton of mana now. That's the bad news. That is the bad news. And I can do 3 to something, but not much more. Okay. Well, I can kill that. What are they going to do here? I think Flick a Coin and blue-red is really good. I think outside of it, unless you need fixing, you probably don't really run it, honestly. Oh, they went with the Rummage. I'm down with that. Hey, look, there's my Charming Scoundrel. Okay, so I don't really want to give up a rat token here just to scry, so I'm not going to. I'm going to torch the tower on Sweet Tooth Witch. Then I'm going to play Ratcatcher Trainee. Then I'm going to play Charming Scoundrel. We're going to create a Wicked Roll token and stick it on the flyer. Attack with everything. If I draw land, I can double... Yeah, we got there. Well, that worked pretty well overall. We definitely ran into a couple of decks that were well equipped for, you know, Hamlet Glutton is this deck's greatest nightmare, basically, especially if it comes down on turn 5. And that's a common, so, you know, having an Achilles heel that's a common is not necessarily great, but we got to 7, so I'm down with it. All right, I'll be right back, and then we'll jump in and